Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Let's start with the story where OP demanded $75, then he destroyed the offender's business. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. And our first story. Lie to get back my $75? Watch me walk customers away from your business for years. Many moons ago, I did automotive locksmith work. It was usually for cars that were impounded, repoed, or people lost their keys. I'd make my rounds once or twice a week to the storage lots, and there would be a list waiting for me. One bank lot had a maroon Ford Tempo. I picked the ignition, took the lock out, and put a new lock in. I then made keys for the doors and trunk. I finished up the rest of the lot and left. Back at the office, we send the bank our bill and get on with our day. About 2 weeks later, a bank rep, Ed, calls and asks if I could take care of the customer for the locksmithing. I asked why. He said the guy was claiming damages and refused to pay. Note, the bank gets to charge the owner all the costs for repo, including locks and keys. I asked Ed, what damages? Usually people get confused because we change the ignition locks and their original keys don't work, but we gave them 2 new keys with the new lock. Their door and trunk keys still worked. Ed said, the guy said you broke his rear window defroster. I was laughing. I said, Ed, you know that making keys has nothing to do with his rear defroster, right? His defogger was broke before the bank took the car, and he was using it to get out of paying for the keys. Ed agreed, but said his boss was tired of hearing the a-hole scream. Yes, he said that. I told Ed not to worry about the $75. They gave us lots of work. Please keep sending it. Ed was happy. His boss was happy. I was not. I hate when people lie to get over on you, but what could I do? Ed sent the guy to my office, and I gave him a check for $75. I also told the smug effer I knew he was lying, that there was no way making keys for his car damaged his rear defogger. His answer? The bank doesn't know that. Now I hated him. But what could I do? What could I do? I forgot about it for 6 months. Then went to pick up takeout at our usual Friday night place. Call it A's. And then I saw it. 3 doors down, the lying lock guy was opening a new restaurant. He had big signs and billboards in the shopping center, complete with his name and photos on the signs. Now I knew what I could do. I went to his restaurant about a week after it opened. My ex wanted to try it out. I was hoping to run into the a-hole, but he stayed in the kitchen the whole time, probably for the best. I more than likely would have done something he'd regret. Well, the food wasn't bad, but it was nowhere near as good as the other place in the shopping center, A's. The one we got Friday night takeout from. So I made it a point to tell everyone heading into his restaurant that A's was better. Every Friday night, I'd tell anyone heading into Liars, if they wanted good food, go to A's. I used to go to A's and sit at the bar and have a beer and place the takeout order. Now I walked into A's, ordered, and waited outside, near Liars. But it wasn't just Friday nights I did this. There was an Office Max in the same center. When I would go there, I'd walk over near Liars and tell as many people as I could. Then my kids started taking karate in the same center. Yep, I did my anti-word-of-mouth advertising. I think Liars' restaurant lasted 2, maybe 3 years. I made it a point to talk them down every chance I could. I know they lost way more than $75. I was petty, and I got my revenge. And our second story. Sorry, ma'am, I can only apply 2 coupons, not 3. So at my job, they offer fundraising cards, which have 20 coupons that give free items, and on the card it says that you can only use 1 at a time. However, the franchise owner allows us to accept 2 coupons at once, based on he's a nice guy. I just got into work, and within 5 minutes, a lady drives up and steps out of a $100,000 Audi. She just ordered over the phone, and my coworker was new, so he told her to bring in the coupons, and he would adjust the price, but he told her that she could only use 2 coupons at a time. She comes to the counter and says she's here to pick up for, let's say, Mandy. I pull her food out of the hot box oven, and she hands me 3 fundraiser coupons for a free medium pizza when you purchase a large pizza, a free garlic bread, and a free cinnamon bread. I then explained that we can only take 2 at a time, and if she wanted, she'd have to pay full price or I could remove it from her order and then trash it. She immediately becomes defensive, blaming it on the 15-year-old coworker that took her order that he needs to be punished. I then again explain that I can just take the bread off and it'd be no problem. She starts examining the coupons, which are very little, and tear-offs from the large fundraiser card, which explain the coupon policy even more conservative than the one I was willing to allow. She starts to proclaim that because the individual tabs don't say the coupon policy, that is ridiculous, that I'm making this up. I ask her if she has the larger card, and of course she says no. After seeing that I'm not going to back down, I can't see as the owner can see my price adjustments and will see I took 3, she tells me to void the order, and I oblige with no sarcasm or rudeness. I never take any of these crazy people and their insults personal. I tell her, have a good day, and she then starts yelling that she didn't mean that I should void the whole order. Yes, she did, as she thought I wouldn't throw away her food. She starts insulting me, but by then I explain that she won't be getting any food from this location. She asks me if I'm the manager and that she wants my personal cell phone number to send to corporate. Wanting to be done with the situation and knowing corporate is even more conservative, I write down my name and phone number and tell her to have a good day. She refused to leave, but then started calling my phone, which was in my pocket. I have an Apple Watch and I can see that she's calling as my wrist is vibrating. After about 5 calls, I respectfully remind her that she asked for my phone number and showed her my watch ringing with her cell phone number across the screen. She gives me a sarcastic smile and ignores what I say. Knowing that she's being a dumb C, I just go back to sweeping the front half of the restaurant, and she continues to call my phone, leaving me messages about how rude I'm being. I go to the bathroom, and she somehow got my coworker's attention, the 15-year-old kid, and starts interrogating him about why he would lie to her on the phone and that we are the rudest people she's ever dealt with. I come up to the front and tell him to stop answering her questions and that she needs to leave. She then starts screaming at the top of her lungs that you're lying and dishonest, but then tells me to shut up and that she's talking after continually telling her to leave in a respectful tone. She keeps repeating that I'm a liar and that she's going to get me fired. I finally have to tell her that I am going to call the police if she doesn't leave, and she screams, "Do it!" over and over. By this time, about 20 minutes have passed and other customers are asking her to just leave. She then threatens my job again and walks out and drives to the other location that just happens to have the owner working. She obviously lied to him, and he calls me to see what happened with her in the background as I can hear her dumb C voice. I explain everything, and he then turns to her and says, "Actually, ma'am, I'm only going to be able to let you use one of those coupons per the fundraiser card, and I have one right here to show you the policy." Still on the phone at the time, I hear a loud shriek from her that sounds like someone was being devoured by the swamp monster, followed by the owner telling her to get the F out of his store. And our last story. Just do your damn job. So I used to work in a government department that dealt with property taxes, and this is a story from my time there. The 2 actors in this story consist of landlord, LL, and myself, me. Ring ring. Me. Hello, name speaking. How can I help you? LL. You B-words have been screwing me out of money for years. I just found out that I shouldn't be paying this. My renter should. Now I want you to do your GD job and give me my money back. Me. Okay, sir, certainly. I'll have to ask you to mind your language, though. I'm happy to help you with that and understand your frustration, but I would appreciate if you could just talk to me in a more calm manner. I don't give a F what you want. You owe me thousands. Give me my money. Me, losing patience. Not a problem. Let me just look up your details. That should be fine. All we require is a copy of your renter's agreement to change the name over and refund your money. Just change the damn name. It's renter's name. Sorry, sir, but I'll have to have a copy of the agreement on file in order to make the change. You can fax it or email it if it's more convenient. It's not convenient. Just do your job and change the name. Sir, I've asked you before about your language. I won't be able to change the name without a copy of the agreement. For F's sake, trying to get one of you government a-holes to do your job is impossible. I'll send you the agreement along with my complaint. And he hangs up. Me. I twitch. Do my job, huh? Sometime later, I receive his renter's agreement along with his complaint letter, which got passed up the chain. My management issued him with a standard response of following the regulations and that it's a legal requirement. Sorry for any inconvenience, blah, blah, blah. I took the agreement and went through it with a fine-tooth comb. I pored over every word of that document, and I found even more than what I was looking for to help me do my effing job. Ring, ring. Hello? Hi, LL, it's Name from Government Department calling. I received your renter's agreement and finally, now when am I getting my money back? Unfortunately, I found a few issues with your agreement, which means that it's not legally binding. Under the regulations, we aren't allowed to change the name and can't refund your money. What? Yeah, you've made handwritten adjustments to the document which aren't countersigned by you and renter. The agreement states you were supposed to pay these taxes and renter hasn't signed or dated this copy. This isn't enforceable here or in court. What? I want to speak to your boss. Certainly. Please hold. My boss proceeded to have a 45-minute argument with the landlord and also refused to give him his money back based on what I found. My boss came over to me at the end of the call. Boss, flag that guy as abusive and reject any calls from him. We'll only deal with him in writing and seal the account so no one can refund that period retrospectively. His agreement is most likely fraudulent and certainly not binding. Good catch. Maybe next time the landlord won't be so insistent on people doing their job. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.